Hi, so today our group 7, will be presenting our self-management intervention project, which was focused on increasing healthy eating behaviors. Our target behavior was consistently consuming healthy meals throughout the day by eating breakfast, lunch, dinner, and also 2 healthy snacks. We chose to do a multiple baseline design across participants to be able to evaluate whether this self management intervention would potentially increase the healthy eating behaviors over time. Throughout our presentation, we will be discussing why this behavior was selected, the research supporting our intervention, and also the results that we did observe from this overall intervention. Healthy eating overall is a very important behavior because it can directly impact both physical and mental health. Eating nutritious meals consistently helps improve energy levels, concentration, weight management, and decreases the risk of chronic illnesses such as diabetes, heart disease, and even high blood pressure. Despite these benefits, many adults do struggle to maintain healthy eating habits due to multiple various things, including busy schedules, convenience, financial barriers, or even simply falling into unhealthy routines. For our project, the target behavior that was chosen was to increase the number of healthy meals consumed across each day. Participants monitored whether they ate breakfast, lunch, dinner, and 2 healthy snacks by using a daily self-monitoring checklist. This gave us an objective way to measure healthy eating behaviors each day, and it also helped us compare performance before and after the intervention was introduced. Before beginning our project, we made sure to follow several important ethical considerations. The first ethical consideration that we did follow was that all data was collected honestly and reported accurately. We recorded our results as they occurred, and we did not change or manipulate the data in any way. The second was that participation in this project was completely voluntarily. Since each group member served as their own participant, everyone understood the purpose of the intervention and chose to participate willingly. We also protected everyone's privacy by keeping personal information confidential. Only the information that was necessary for completing the assignment and presenting our findings was shared. Another important consideration was ensuring that the intervention was safe and also it was evidence-based. We used self-management strategies that have been supported by previous research to promote healthy eating habits, which making this intervention both appropriate and also low risk. Finally, all the procedures were implemented in accordance with the BACB Ethics Code, which ensured that the project was conducted responsible and with respect for ethical standards throughout the entire process. Before selecting our intervention, we reviewed several different research studies that examined strategies for improving healthy eating behaviors. The first study that we came across was conducted by Norman and Osborne in 2010. This study found that individualized dietary feedback increased healthy food choices among college students. This research study had participants monitor their eating habits and also received feedback on their own progress. The researchers of this research study observed improvements overall in healthier food choices. This study did demonstrate that self-monitoring and feedback can be an effective tool for changing eating behaviors. The second study that we came across was Zonneveld and colleagues in 2019, and this specific research study examined factors that influence children's food preferences. The research that they found was that behavioral strategies along with environmental influences can encourage healthier food choices. This study emphasized that healthy eating behaviors can be shaped through consistent behavioral support and also structured intervention. The last study that we came across was Detour and Nicholas in 2000, and this study took place in 2012. This one explored how reducing access to unhealthy foods can ultimately affect eating behaviors and childhood obesity. The findings from this study suggested that limiting opportunities to choose unhealthy food while also promoting healthier alternatives can lead to improved eating habits, and also can support healthier long term outcomes. Although each of these studies did have a different approach to healthy eating from a slightly different perspective, they all reached a similar conclusion, which this conclusion was that behavioral strategies can successfully improve food choices. Together, these findings provided strong support for using a self-management intervention for our project. Based on this research, we expected participants to increase their healthy meal consumptions once the intervention was introduced.
I'll be talking about this section of our project, which is the FBA, the Functional Behavior Assessment. So our functional behavior assessment goal was to promote healthy eating habits and figure out why the participants chose unhealthy food options instead of healthy ones. The 3 participants, myself, Zoe, and Camila, completed a baseline phase that by tracking their meals and snacks with self-monitoring and recording. The assessment showed the common barriers that kept getting in the way of healthy food choices and of healthy eating in general, like cravings, convenience, busy schedules, and lack of time as well. From this, we were all able to develop an intervention that promoted healthier food choices. Based on the results of the Functional Behavior Assessment, the FBA, we were able to make a plan to increase healthy food choices and eating habits through self-management strategies. The intervention was made up of meal planning and visual reminders, as well as goal setting, in order to make the process of healthy eating easier and more convenient. The participants tracked their meals with self-monitoring and received reinforcement weekly and daily. And we also used DRA, which is differential reinforcement of alternative behaviors, and this focuses on promoting healthy eating behaviors and not reinforcing unhealthy ones. The treatment plan was made to treat common barriers like we said before, convenience, no time to meal prep, so lack of time, and to encourage long-term healthy eating habits overall.
For the intervention results, we have put the results of our intervention here in the graph. We have shown our baseline, our intervention, and the after results of how we maintained those habits after being done with the intervention. So there was a trend that had been observed in healthy eating behaviors, which started off the very introduction of this intervention. The level of healthy eating responses increased immediately after the intervention was implemented. Baseline data showed greater variability, while intervention data became more stable and consistent following the intervention. And so the overall effectiveness of the intervention was that the self-management intervention was effective in increasing healthy eating behaviors across all participants. So the results showed that healthy meal consumption increased following the introduction of the intervention. Improvements were observed after participants implemented self-management strategies, including self-monitoring, meal planning, reminders, and goal setting. The results demonstrated a full functional relation between the intervention and increased healthy eating behaviors.
In order to maintain all of the progress that's been made during the intervention phase, the participants should continue to use the daily meal checklist even after the study ended in order to promote maintenance. The participants should also start to gradually fade their reminders and the reinforcements as the healthy habits increase. There should be check-ins like once a week, since it would help monitor the progress and address any challenges that may develop. The overall goal of maintenance is to continue to make healthy food choices on their own, with no prompting and with no reinforcement as well.
Our generalization plan was pretty simple. We encouraged healthy eating across different settings, whether that was homework, restaurants, or social events. An issue that came out consistently within the three of us were time constraints. So, in order to encourage healthy eating across these different settings, we made sure to meal prep in advance in order to consistently promote this. Additionally, we practiced making healthy food choices with different foods and environments. We involve family or peers to support our healthy eating across all settings. This was also something else that was super useful. Not only meal prepping by itself, but choosing better options when we were stuck in time constraints rather than going back to maybe fast food options that we would have perhaps chosen if we were in a time constraint. Something else that's super important is to involve family or peers. Those can be super useful. They can help you meal plan, but they can also encourage you to keep going with the intervention, supporting yourself and supporting your goals. And so that could also really help in the case that you're out in a situation, don't have your meal, want to make a better choice, etc. Lastly, the goal was healthy eating occurs consistently regardless of location or situation. So, in these ways, when we were prepared, either it be meal prep, reminders, choosing better options when being on the go, having our friends and family encourage us, all of these, we were allowed to promote our goal, which was to eat healthy consistently regardless of where we were. For the IOA, the Inner Observer Agreement, the IOA assesses the reliability and consistency of data collection by comparing two independent observers. The high IOA increases confidence that the recorded data accurately reflects the target behavior. Formal IOA data were not collected during the project, so future implementations should include IOA to strengthen the reliability and validity of the findings. Because we did not use IOA data for our intervention, it was not that it was not useful to us, but it was just not useful for our intervention treatment plan. But it is very important when collecting data. So, like it said, future implementations should include IOA to strengthen the reliability and the validity of the findings, to know that what we are comparing is good, is making a change, and is being effectful. So
our results showed that self-management strategies were effective in improving healthy eating habits, which was our goal. The participants were able to increase their healthy food choices, and they also became more aware of their eating behaviors through meal planning, self-monitoring, and reinforcement as well. Our study was only made up of 3 people, myself, Camila, and Zoe. So the future researchers should try to focus on including a larger sample size, and they should also focus on evaluating the long-term maintenance of healthy eating behaviors as a whole. Thank you.